First at 4, Governor Whitmer says Michigan residents are not doing enough to stop COVID-19. A new order today goes into effect in just 8 hours.
Now is the most crucial time for us to come together to protect ourselves and our families.
We'll explain what the Stay Home, Stay Safe declaration means to all of us. Also, the Olympic flame still burns, but our hopes for the 2020 games starting to fizzle out. We'll take a look at where things stand this afternoon. Hi, Ben.
Hey, Karen. 40's taking care of some of that Sunday snow, but is it going to be the last time we see flakes in the forecast? We'll look at that right now. First at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, with 15 coronavirus deaths in Michigan, Governor Whitmer has joined a growing list of states to issue more severe restrictions for all of us. The Stay Home, Stay Safe order goes into effect just after midnight tonight and continues through April 13th. Now, in broad terms, it means you should not be going to work unless your employer sustains or protects life. Critical businesses like grocery stores, pharmacies, banks, and gas stations will remain open. The governor says those businesses must observe strict protocols to protect the workers and customers. Let's go to Kimberly Gill. She's in the newsroom for more from the governor. Kim.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. The governor says now is the time for everyone to do their part to stop the spread of COVID-19. She says too many people have been out and about. The governor says if you're not part of an essential service, stay home.
This intervention is important to buy time so we can create surge capacity in our hospitals, so we can ramp up testing and develop therapeutic drugs that may lower hospitalization and fatality rates.
Now, the stay-at-home order puts more pressure on Michigan businesses that are already closed or partially open, trying to stay in business. Whitmer says she's looking at the big picture as she makes these tough decisions.
In the long run, doing this now shortens the time our economy suffers. When we look back at this, we've got to be able to say we did everything we could.
If we do nothing, very rough models estimate that the number of cases in Michigan could increase 5-fold in the next week.
Now, Governor Whitmer continues to be critical of the federal response to the pandemic, saying the states are having to make up the protocols as they go along. Also, she points out this order means Michigan's schools will be closed through at least April 13th. She says she'll have more to say on that very soon. We'll keep you posted. Karen, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kim. And as we count down to the Stay Home, Stay Safe order, here's where things stand right now. We did mention earlier 15 coronavirus deaths have been reported in the state of Michigan. The state has more than 1,300 cases of COVID-19. The superintendent of Detroit's public school, Nikolai Vitti, says he believes schools should be closed until the next regular school year. And the Detroit district has suspended its meal service as more employees have become ill. The district is hoping to come up with a new distribution plan soon. Meantime, Mayor Mike Duggan is supporting Governor Whitmer's mandate as more than 400 cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed in the city of Detroit. That number includes 14 city employees, 9 are Detroit police officers. Several changes will go into effect for several city services, including buses. Beginning Wednesday, DDOT will replace its daily schedule with the lighter Saturday schedule. Again, that starts Wednesday. The city is also working to restore water to more homes that were shut off due to those past water bills. Right now, 679 service restorations have been completed, with 178 active restorations in progress. And Detroit's Recreation Department is providing meals for children. The mayor says we must isolate ourselves.
What you are doing by going out with crowds is giving life to this very deadly virus. We've lost 15 people in the state already. The numbers are going up by the hour. And the people who are listening to me today have the power to choke this virus off. And that is the point of the governor's message.
Mayor Duggan says there are 282 Detroit Police Department officers being quarantined today. Now, he expects 152 of them will be back to work by the end of the week. Governor Whitmer is challenging all of us to do our part to stop COVID-19. Now, the ball is in your court. Will you be part of the solution to beat the virus? Paula Tutman has been talking to some of you about where this is headed. She is live in Washington Township. Paula, what are you hearing?
Well, you know, Karen, without question, there are going to be people who think this is a bad idea. But my partner and I talked to a lot of people today, and we didn't find any of those people. It is wearing Lori's nerves close enough to the surface. Her emotions easily spilled out today.
Just worry about people, and I have an elderly mother, so I worry about her. And
when the governor gave the stay home, stay safe order, Lori raced to Stony Creek Bike Shop in Washington Township.
I bought 2 bicycles for my granddaughters as a surprise for Easter 2 weeks ago, and then when I heard the governor's order, I'm like, I'm gonna go get those bikes because who knows what'll happen at Easter.
The governor says non-essential errands, businesses, and contact must stop, or the trajectory of the disease will do permanent harm instead of temporary damage.
If it were possible to wave a magic wand and make all Americans freeze in place for 14 days, 6 feet away from one another, the whole epidemic would sputter to a halt. It's on all of us to do our part.
But at the bike shop, there is just not clear guidance. They fall somewhere between leisure and critical, depending on how, why, and when you use your bicycle.
Hopefully we can stay open so people have exercise. And some people ride their bikes to work.
The order of the governor says in-person activities that are not necessary to sustain or protect life must be suspended until normal operations resume, which probably doesn't include bike shops. But the owner of the shop knows one thing for sure.
I'm well over 65. I don't belong here.
Everywhere we went, we saw people taking this order seriously. At grocery stores, a quickness.
I was going to go in and stock up, but I'm just going to grab a couple things and get out of here. Yeah. I don't want to be in there any longer than I have to be.
Everyone we spoke to gets this and says they will comply.
With a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old, it's not as fun as you would think it would be. But we're trying to be outside. We have a little bit of property so we can run around.
I think it's vital. We need to put distance between each other and just stay safe.
Yeah, you know, the next thing is going to be compliance, and I'm already seeing compliance. So we've been driving around. For instance, nail salon over there was open an hour ago. It is now closed. Same with a gift shop. We've been seeing this all over town, but you are going to have businesses that are going to look for ways to stay open, and you're going to have people who are going to look for ways to go into those businesses. And so I think the next piece is really going to be teeth and compliance. Karen?
All right, thank you, Paula. And there is also a change involving the rules for healthcare workers caring for patients with COVID-19. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge joins us to explain.
Yesterday, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services updated their guidance of when healthcare workers can work, given that there is now sustained spread of the COVID-19 virus in Michigan. First of all, if you are sick, stay home. Next, because there is community spread, all healthcare workers should monitor their temperature twice a day and be vigilant for symptoms like a cough or shortness of breath. Now, there is no longer a 14-day quarantine requirement for healthcare workers with a known exposure to a COVID-19 patient. Instead, they recommend extra vigilance and self-monitoring. So the bottom line is the MDHHS no longer recommends pulling asymptomatic healthcare workers off their jobs just because of an exposure. Back to you.
All right, that's a big change. Thank you, Doc. The Federal Reserve trying to stabilize the bond markets, but it is not helping investors feel more comfortable. The stock market spiral continues after a month after it started. Take a look at the Dow right now, down some 580 points when it closed. The U.S. Senate could be close to a deal for a stimulus package, but tempers are flaring today on Capitol Hill. Democrats refused to pass the deal over the weekend, saying the proposed package didn't have enough protection for workers. The stimulus package is now approaching $2 trillion. Democrats are pushing for restrictions on big businesses after previous bailouts led to blistering criticism of how companies spent their bailout money.
The bill still includes something that most Americans don't want to see. Large corporate bailouts with almost no strings attached. Maybe the majority leader thinks it's unfair to ask protections for workers and labor to companies that are getting hundreds of billions of dollars. We think it's very fair to ask for those.
Are you kidding me? This is the moment to debate new regulations that have nothing whatsoever to do with this crisis. That's what they're up to over there. American people need to know it.
Of course, getting a bill passed in the Senate is just half the battle. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says House Democrats are working on their own bill. At some point, both will have to be reconciled before going to President Trump. New at 5, everyone's concerned about groceries and food. We're checking with stores about life under the new order and why there's no need to panic. Dr. Frank McGeorge has an important message for young people. President Trump is scheduled to have another task force briefing at 5:30. We'll bring that to you live and on clickondetroit.com. Now let's take a quick look at the first forecast. And you know, it was a pretty nice weekend. We woke up this morning, Ben, and it was just those huge snowflakes. Kind of shocking to most of us.
Yeah, even though spring is here, Karen, we do see snow in March and April. We probably will see more of it before we're done, but in a lot of spots it didn't amount to a whole lot. Plus these 40-degree temperatures starting to take care of what is left of it. Not much of a breeze out there, just about 5 to 8 miles an hour. So the story's going forward. Still chilly tonight, but no snow. In fact, we are snow-free in the entire 10-day forecast. 50s are coming back tomorrow, and once they get here, I think you may be shocked as to how long they stick around. And the one big thing in the forecast that we're focusing on is going to be the weekend, and we'll check that out in just a few minutes.